on September the 3rd, China held the grandest military parade in human history, not only in terms of the scale of the parade, but also in terms of the most sophisticated military weapons, including hardware, software, including conventional weapons, as well as nuclear weapons, and all kinds of missiles, including intercontinental missiles. And of particular importance, China also displayed the most sophisticated, the never heard of drones and the robotics, for example. Now, the underlying message is amazingly very, very obvious. This is a message for peace, because I think the history will look back upon the victory parade as a major turning point in human history, because the rest of the world will come to the conclusion that no country in the world will ever indulge in the fantasy of imposing a war on China, conventional war or nuclear war, because China will not be crushed. China will overwhelm the enemy if it dares to impose a war on China. It is also a demonstration of China's commitment to defending peace for mankind, meaning, as President Xi Jinping said, we are faced with a choice between war versus peace, of multilateralism versus, for example, bullying by one country against the rest of the world. So China is to be recognized as the major force for defending world peace and for defending free trade. So this is the message from China, and I hope all countries in the world will realize that you need to come to terms with China, whether you like it or not, and you will be able to solve any problems with China in peace, in negotiation, in diplomacy, rather than agitating for war. Actually, no one can really seriously compete with China, if I'm allowed to say, because China's growth is inevitable. Whether there is, for example, the United States or any other countries, whether they like it or not, China will continue to grow. I don't think China's growth is a competition with any other country in itself. China follows this peaceful engagement. We treat all countries in the world as an equal. And we do not want to, for example, dictate our terms, holding a gun at the head of other countries and try to rule above other countries or to manhandle other countries. In that sense, China is completely different from many other countries which want to dominate the rest of the world. And China believes in multipolarity and multilateralism, which is not really, in the substance, is not competition itself. It's mutually beneficial growth. The real free trade is for mutual benefit rather than for unilateral benefit, and by forcing terms onto other countries. So I would say China wants to cooperate with other countries, as well as, for example, living in peace and promoting win-win cooperation and win-win benefits. Prime Minister Modi of India attended the SCO summit meeting in Tianjin, and not only Prime Minister Modi was there, the Pakistani Prime Minister, His Excellency, was also there, together with about 24 heads of states of SCO members, including, for example, President of Turkey. And Prime Minister Modi didn't make it to the parade in Beijing, which is not too much of a deal, but the distinguished Pakistani Prime Minister was here on the Tiananmen Gate, reviewing the troops together with, again, 27 heads of state and heads of government in total. So I don't think, you need to be very selective and zoom in only on, for example, President Xi Jinping of China, President Putin of Russia, and the paramount leader, Mr. Kim of the PRK. No, if you really want to be objective, you need to see that either at the SCO summit, about 24 heads of states, heads of government were there, or during the victory parade, again, more than 27 heads of states, heads of government in total were on the gateway. And in addition, there were thousands of deputy prime ministers, foreign ministers, and ministers of all kinds from many countries.
Yeah.
And altogether, about 180 countries were represented in reviewing the troops, including senior diplomats from the U.S. Embassy and almost for all the NATO member states. So don't be selective. Focus on the totality of it and really be very objective in looking at that.